Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to the Long Term Podcast. I'm your host, Advin Villa. Today, we have artist Callie Seetoo. We will discuss art such as painting, drawing, and tattoos, expressing your creativity in writing, and social connections in regards to traveling, food, and relationships. And I'd like to add that this is the second take, and I'm so thankful for Callie for being so kind to stay another time. It took us an hour to film the first one, but then I realized that the camera wasn't taking, and I was just so shocked and in despair. But then Callie was just so chill about it, and she was just, yeah. And actually, this second round is much better, and I'm actually gonna upload the first one without the video as a bonus. And they're kind of similar, but they're not. One's more, the first one is more focused onto art, and the second one is more, it's different. You'll see. So make sure to check both of them out. You'll derive great value. And yeah, I'd like to add that Callie did give me this art as well. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. It's amazing. And if you want to check out more of her art, go on Instagram and search up Art Z by Cal, and I'll put a link in the descriptions below. Everyone, welcome. All right. This is part two. The camera didn't record the first time. Callie and I spent an hour talking, and it didn't work. Record in the camera. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all good. We're here to support Advin, all right? We have to.
Welcome to the Long Term Podcast. Yeah, just.
I feel like I was just here. I feel like I just talked to you.
You were just here. Oh gosh, no! I feel so terrible.
No,
like,
don't. Like,
wasted
seriously.
Your hour and.
No, it was not a waste. It was not.
Okay.
I just get a two-parter now, so everyone gets to listen to it all over again. We got to make the best of it. We have to, because if not, we're just going to be thinking about it way too much.
Yeah.
It's all good.
For doing this again.
Of course.
But yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm 22. I'm working as a receptionist right now at a salon. Not the main career goal. We are looking to not do a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life, because I just can't do it. Couldn't be me. For everyone that can do it, that's awesome. But it's not my passion is art, and I want to move forward with that as a career. Mostly painting. And I'm just gotten into tattoos, as you know. So hopefully learning, growing, making a career out of that is what I would love most. It's like the dream. Would like to make that come true. I have 2 siblings. I'm the oldest sibling. And what else about myself?
Yeah. With the art, what does it make you feel?
Art makes me feel like I have an outlet to express myself. It's really nice to just be able to do my own thing, not worry about what other people are doing, what other people are thinking, just kind of shuts the brain off. And it just like makes me feel calm. And in most cases, sometimes I really get frustrated with what I'm doing in my art, but that's just because I'm my own worst critic. But most of the time, it's definitely like just a good release. It's a good outlet to just.
You mentioned that we're our own worst critics, eh? And I find that when you're creating something, you see the beauty in it, but it's also that the negative parts are so much more magnified because, oh, I could have done that better. Oh, I could have done this better. And I should have done this, because once the result is out, you just look for those things that you could have done better. Now, in your creative process, like, how do you go about recognizing the good and the bad and not letting that crush you?
I honestly don't even know the answer to that. Like, it's kind of a hit or miss situation. Like, you can move forward and do as best you can with what you're creating. And like personally, you can think, wow, this is the best thing I've ever done. But then other people can look at it and they're like, what even is that? Why did you make that? And I think when you're creating something, you just kind of have to go with what you think is right and how you feel, do what you want to do. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. And with the good and the bad, it could be either or, right? So I think sometimes it's good, sometimes bad, and you can work with it. You just gotta.
And actually, you channel those emotions, all the fear, all the just guilt sometimes that going about human life, and that's where you get your ideas from.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like when you get excited about a moment, and when you think about certain ideas, it just all comes to fruition in this artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all subjective, which is the beauty of it too, because a lot of people just derive different meanings from certain pieces.
Yeah.
And that's your role as an artist, to be able to recognize that these are people that are looking at it from their own lens and seeing it from their own, and just seeing whether they'll take value from it. What drives your passion for creating art, and how has it evolved over time?
What drives my passion? I think that art has just been something that's always just been a part of my life. I've always been drawn to it. It's always been something that I'm good at. And that's what I say to people. It's like the only thing that I'm good at. Like, that's my one thing. And like passion wise, I just want to be good. I just want to get better. I want to keep learning, keep growing, keep like using new skills, new techniques, especially like with the tattooing. It's a totally different aspect from painting, which I did not realize when I started, but it's a completely different technique that you have to learn. So I think like with the tattooing, it's something where I want to be so good because it's something so permanent on somebody's body. And if I mess that up, I will never get over it. That's like, will be so horrible. I'm not even going to put that out in the universe because why did I just do that? But it is a thought in my mind where with painting, it can be my own thing. It can be something where it's my own vision. Like when you're doing tattoos, I feel like it's somebody else's vision that you create for them. Where with painting, it's a vision that I have for myself to just put out into the world, and people can take it as they will, right? So I think passion-wise, I'm just really determined to keep doing it, to keep moving forward. I've created the account like on Instagram and doing TikTok and like trying my best. The marketing stuff I struggle with a little bit, but it's one of those things where you just kind of have to put yourself out there and just be driven to keep trying to succeed.
You kind of have to really be your own biggest supporter, especially at the start, when just the networking and just the skill, the craft, it's just a one person team, and you have to get it out there. You need to be able to support yourself and sell yourself. And that's with talking to people about your art, convincing them that this is something you believe in and that they should believe in it too. And just like seeing where the ideas take you, and then just being true to yourself as well. Because I've certainly been in the mindset sometimes too, where I just like, I'll skewer towards like a certain mindset that other people have because like that's what they want to hear. But then like you just got to stay true to yourself when it comes to the art, hey? And it's just, how do you decide which medium, a drawing, painting, tattoos, to use for a particular project?
It just kind of depends on what people want, I think. Like for myself anyway, I don't know how other people go about deciding it, but for me, like my medium is painting. Like I really enjoy that. If I'm doing a project for somebody, that's more the one that I lean more towards too. But again, it just kind of depends on what they're asking for, what the vision is, what they're looking for to like please the eye, if you will. So I think that for myself, I would gravitate more towards like, I do acrylic paintings. So there's that. I've like dabbled with watercolor. So I think that those ones can be absolutely stunning too, but it just really depends. But more painting. That's what I'll go with for the answer for that one.
Yeah. And you we talked about in the previous, recording that there's just more to painting, whether it's like the different colors and it adds to it. And
Yeah.
like with sketching, it doesn't add as much, just it doesn't bring it to life as much. And we had mentioned that the tattoos, just when you're putting an art on someone that's going to be there forever, it takes a lot of just
It's
lot
so
on you. It puts so much pressure.
Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
like how like I met this one guy, he's like, I'm still friends with him, and the tattoo that he wanted, it's just like a little bird, and just he presented the picture to the tattoo artist, and with the tattoo artist, I guess he was a beginner, and the bird just looked demented. And like it's on him now, and every time I see that, like,
fear.
yeah, and then like everybody just roasted him. This was in high school, and he wouldn't wear any short sleeve anymore because it was right on his, like, right here.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's kind of the risk that you have to take, and it's hard, right? Because like people are learning, so there's only so much that you can do. Like you have to do those bad tattoos, you have to do those bad paintings, whatever it is, to get better, to practice. But again, it's like, if you don't feel like you are able to do that, do not do it. Like, especially with something so permanent as tattoos. And that's kind of my thing. Like, so many people are supporting me moving forward with this as a career choice. And it's so nice to have that behind me. Like, I've never really been put in a position like with my family or anything where they don't support what I want to do, whether it's being like a starving artist or a tattoo artist or like whatever you want to do. Like, they've always supported me and been like, yeah, do it. So it is nice to see all the people that are like, oh yeah, you can practice on me, you can do this. And I'm like, oh my God, no, I can't. Like, yeah, like what if I
just
mess
looks
up?
demented?
You're
and
never going to forgive me. Like, I know you, I'm always going to see it. And I'm like, oh, I've ruined you. I'm so sorry. But it is nice. Like, they're like, whatever, I don't care. And I'm like, hey, you say that, but hopefully you mean it.
Would you do face tats?
No. Those, I just can't even like fathom the idea of putting the needle in. No, it's just no, I can't. Like, I haven't even really like come to the conclusion that is what I'm going to do. Like, it's different on the fake skins. It's not real, but when you do it on, it's just, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, really.
Oh man, I see those rappers with like all the tats on their faces, and I'm like, wow, that takes a lot of, I don't know if it's stupidity or bravery, but
right?
It could
it's
be
just
both.
I mean, to each their own. You do you, but I won't be doing it. I don't think I could.
Tell me about how, when your hand is just on the canvas, and like when it comes to the sketchbook, and even I guess you don't have as much experience with tattoos, how does that make you feel?
It's kind of, I mean, in a way you could describe it as kind of like writing. Like, it's just like you're just getting it out. You're going through whatever's going on in your head. Like, personally, when I sketch, I'm the messiest sketcher you will ever see in your life. There's like lines going every which way. I don't even know how it looks like a picture sometimes, because it's just like, oh, I'm going to do a little here, do a little here. But it's just a release. It's like liberating in a way. It's nice to just be able to put it on a piece of paper. If it looks like garbage, it looks like garbage. Or sometimes it turns out really good and you're like, wow, I just did that. But it's feels good to just let it out.
Yeah. Like, on bad days, do you feel better?
No.
No?
Because
by releasing now. When
like releasing it for sure. Yeah. But when it looks so bad, I'm like, why?
When you're just like not motivated at all.
I'm just not motivated. And I'm like, oh, I'm having such a bad day. This looks like garbage. Like, what am I doing? But again, it's like, okay, this looks ugly. The skill. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, you need to do the bad ones to slowly improve. So with every bad drawing I've done, I could go back and look at the ones I did 3 years ago or 4, like whatever it is. And I can be like, hey, I've improved since then. Like, I've learned this since then. So it's a love-hate relationship for sure.
Do you take a disciplined approach to it? No, and like on days where I don't feel like it, kind of like gym kind of mentality where I'm going to do it because I need to improve? Or do you take like a relax, like I'll paint when I feel like it?
It kind of depends. Honestly, like if I have a due date, I am doing it every single day. Like I'm so determined to get it finished because I know I need to finish it at this day. And if I don't, if I put it off, I'm never going to do it. So when people are like, yeah, whatever, just finish it whenever, I don't finish it for like months. And I hate that I do it, but it's like, I want it to be so good that I'm just like procrastinating. Like I'm worried I'm going to mess it up. So I just don't do it. But I think now, like evolving with actually pursuing it, I've gotten better. Like I've really like set aside time to actually get it done. Like even if it's 15 minutes, it doesn't even matter. Like if I spend a little bit of time every day, then at least I'm doing something. At least I'm trying to get better. At least I'm trying to get into a routine almost to make it happen. Because if I'm just looking at it, it's never going to get done. Right.
Yeah. And it's that the 50 minutes every day, eventually that'll turn into an hour. And then after that, 2 hours. Next thing you know, you're done.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit every single day. Bit.
Yeah.
And it's, you sleep on it, you wake up and there's like another idea. And it's like, oh, I didn't think of that color. Oh, I didn't think of that little shade of just on that mountain piece. And then that little tree, maybe I could add like a little dog playing.
Yeah.
And yeah. Actually, I think it's flowing better than the previous one, honestly.
You think so?
Like, I think so.
Like, yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to like remember everything I said before, and I'm like,
I think it's flowing better. I think this is like a different.
It's just episode. A different vibe. Yeah, it's not so like I'm nervous, but
no, you're not nervous at all.
I'm
like
not
before,
nervous anymore.
Like, you were nervous. Yeah. Now it's just like
I've done this already. I know the drill.
You're a veteran. But yeah, no, I can't express enough how thankful I am.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to do it.
Speaking of that, though. But this one, I gotta shout Callie out for giving me this beautiful painting. Reminds me of my maid.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
But yeah, thank you for just being an artist and just giving up to the world. And it's just, you kind of have to be like a people person.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you just do art and you just want it all to yourself, I guess what would be the point?
I feel like a lot of artists are like that though. Like,
are they?
I honestly, like every artist you talk to, they're kind of introverted. Like they're very, and I think that's why, because they express themselves through not words, but like pictures, art.
But to succeed, you need to
sell.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's how you get the cash flow. Because I mean, if you have like all these magnificent artwork just stored up, like how are people supposed to know about it?
Exactly.
Like
it's not even.
That's why I'm a firm believer of like, if you have an idea, whether it be about business, whether it be about just fitness, art, music, you got to share it, because other people will believe in it too, or it sucks and you'll know.
Yeah, like, you will know. Like
you will know. Like that's why I see those people that come into American Idol and they're just like, oh, like those, like some people, your family just lied to you. You know, like,
yeah, like they were just being nice. But
yeah, but with that's kind of the risk that you have to take when it comes to presenting yourself, and you really have to ask the people that are willing to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
because if it sucks, it sucks, and if it doesn't suck, then it's good. Then you could still improve.
Yeah. You need the criticism to move forward kind of thing. And I've had a hard time with that. Like that, I was actually very introverted. Like in no way in the world would I ever be sitting here right now talking to you. Like me and Advin have met maybe 4 times, maybe. Yeah. And we're having a whole conversation right now.
The interactions have been like very meaningful.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I was so introverted. I hated talking
even
as a kid.
Even a couple years back?
Yeah.
Like even when we were at the Halloween party with Declan's house.
That's kind of where I was changing a bit.
Okay.
But
that's when you grew your wings.
Yeah, a little. They were sprouting. But yeah, and it's just kind of funny when you say that you have to be a people person. I think working in customer service also like definitely gives you that really push because you deal with. When
you say introverted, like you just didn't want to deal with people. You just didn't want to talk.
I just was so shy. I just never I was the kid that hid behind my mom. Because I was I just was so shy. I couldn't talk to people.
I was the same way, but it was like all the way in elementary. And
yeah,
like you said you were like that in high school?
Not really as much in high school. Like I kind of, once I started working, I think it kind of like brushed out a bit. But probably not till like maybe grade 9 was when I started to get better. And it was kind of like one of those things where you're like, oh, I have no friends. I just feel like nobody likes me. I'm too quiet. Like, I honestly did not know how to talk to people. I always said, I was like, I don't know what to say to people after they say like, how are you? And then you just say good. Like, I was that kid who's like, how are you? Oh, good. And then nothing. Like, I was totally fine in silence. I was just good by myself. I didn't really need to talk to people. And now I can't sit in a room and be quiet. I'm just like yap all the time.
Wow. That's your testament to how a social anxiety, you'd call it that, hey? Or
Yeah.
is it because you didn't want to talk to people? You just didn't know what to say, or you
it was
felt
more
like heavy, or
I would just overthink it way too much. Where I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I say next?
But
like,
you
how do
didn't
I
feel anxious though?
No, not really. I
You're
was just
more like, what do I actually say?
Yeah.
Because I know for a lot of people that are introverted, that they usually don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
And it's because and also they're anxious about it because like the talking to people just made them feel heavy, and you didn't experience any of that heaviness. It was
not
just
really.
like, what are we supposed to talk about?
Like, like I was just shy. Like, I was embarrassed almost. Like, I didn't. And my family, like my mom and dad are so extroverted people. My brother is such an extrovert. Like, and I think growing up with him, when we would like do things together, he was always just talking. Like, everyone was always just talking around me. So I sat there and listened. People still, like, my mom gives me shit still because she's like, you need to stop like eavesdropping, because all I do is listen. But nobody really knows I'm there because I'm not talking, but I just hear everything. But I've gotten better now. So it's a learning curve though, right? Like, you just kind of, again, improve.
Yeah.
So.
Do you ever channel those feelings that you had as an introvert, like as a person that didn't really know what to say to your art?
I'd say so. Yeah. I think it's like, it's just one of those things where I could just do it. And people were like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do that. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Like, I've never been a person who likes to be the center of attention. I don't actually do very well with it because I'm like, oh my God, like, why is everyone looking at me? So like this, again, for example, it's very different for me, like talking about myself, talking about my passions, everything. But it's nice. It's a good thing. And I think my art has definitely helped me with that. And like same with writing, and just it's a good outlet. It's
amazing to see that you talk about your previous self like it's almost like a stranger. Like, you don't recognize that person.
I'm so different, Evan. Like, if you met me maybe 4 years ago. Really? Yeah. So different.
Wow. If you met me 3-4 years ago, I was an asshole, honestly. Yeah. I just didn't really sure. I knew how to talk to people. I just didn't know how to talk to people correctly. Like how to actually be vulnerable and how to actually be honest. I was just like more, what would this person expect me to say? Yeah. And then I'd say it. And it's just,
pleasing everybody.
Can you describe a moment when your artwork profoundly impacted someone else?
Well, I already told you this story.
I know you already told me.
I feel like I have to say it again. But it was a painting I did for my mom of her grandma. And I found it in my grandpa's like old photo albums, and I pulled it out, and it's like this beautiful picture of her just sitting in a rocking chair with a Christmas tree. And she had like, I don't even know what they were. I think it's like postcards hanging.
Was this like the 1900s, 1800s?
Oh yeah, like, I don't even actually know what year, but it was like old. Like, maybe
didn't have Facebook or Instagram back then, hey?
I know, there's nothing. It's just like an old digital photo. And and I love that stuff. Like, I am so obsessed with old things. Like, I was totally meant to be born in the 80s.
Were you though? I don't know.
I think so. I really do. Like,
when people say that, like, do you actually?
No,
no Instagram,
really
no TikTok.
Yeah, I would be fine with it.
Electric cars, solar panels.
I hate technology, to be fully honest with you. Like, I hate it.
Me too.
And I just think that life back then was better.
Yeah.
Not that I don't appreciate life now. I make the best of it. But I don't know. I think the vibe itself is just better. But
I think it's the same, honestly. We're just more advanced.
I mean, how would we know though, right?
How would we
like,
know?
That's the thing.
True. Maybe you could like teleport back and just experience for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the telling factor. But unfortunately, we can't.
But to finish your story.
Going back.
Yeah.
Anyway, this beautiful
Mhm.
picture of my mom's grandma. I painted
Mhm.
it for her. I spent all the time in art class. I just said, I'm doing this. Took their easels, took their freaking canvases, the paint,
You're
reaped
taking
all
everything.
the benefits. You got to take
I
advantage
mean,
of
you're
it.
paying for the school
I know,
tuition.
right?
Yeah, you
so
have
I'm
to.
just going to use all of it.
Yeah.
And then painted it for her, gave it to her, and she just was crying. She just started bawling, and it was just such a good feeling because I made that for my mom, not really expecting a reaction, but not that reaction. And her grandma meant so much to her. I'm named after her, and middle name, not first name, but
Mhm.
it's just really nice to be able to create something and it makes somebody feel
Mhm.
those kind of emotions that they didn't really know that they could feel.
When you saw your mom crying, having her moments,
Mm-hmm.
how did it make you feel?
Honestly, kind of happy. I wasn't trying to make her cry, but it's it's one of those things where you make somebody cry from happiness, where you're like, oh my God, I made you cry. It's one of those things, but it's touching, I guess. It's heartwarming. It feels good to connect with people and to create something that makes them feel so
alive.
Yeah, whatever it is, just that they appreciate it and they're like, wow, I can't believe you did that.
Because I think I always have that feeling where it's I'm going through my emotions alone, and it's just nobody really likes me, and then when somebody just presents me with a form of compassion, whether it be food, whether it be an artwork they made, and whether it be just checking up, just it gives me that, morphs me back into reality where it's there are people that do care.
Yeah.
There is my daughter who will make a picture or a portrait of my grandma that's gonna bring me to tears, and she'll probably be driving to work the next day and just thinking of her daughter, just how beautiful that is. And I'm sure it pops into her mind all the time how you did this for her, and in return she's going to do something for you, and then in return you're going to do something for her, and then you're building this relationship, and it's truly beautiful. And I feel that's really what it's all about. I mean, there's you do something for someone, then they do something for you back, and then you don't have to expect it, because I think there's certainly some people fall into the trap of, I'm going to do something for you, I'm going to expect you.
You have to do something for me after. And it's well, no. That isn't the mindset that you should have towards that. It should just be doing it to do it because it makes somebody happy. And it makes you happy to do it.
Yeah, with birthday gifts too. It's when I get you a gift, but you have to get me one. It's no, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But you could. But it's just I think that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned recently, where it's if I'm going to give, I can't expect anything in return.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done.
Yeah, it's easy to get wrapped up in the...
Yeah, I always expect something, right? Because what's in it for me? A lot of people say that, but it's so freeing.
I hate when people say that.
What's
I hate that. I hate when they say
what's
that.
in it for me? The bond is in it for you. Just the moments, right? It says, what is this, a business transaction? But with art, it's just, we talked about it previously, and I just wanted to talk about it more, just the signs, even I work at a stop sign or a sign shop, and we manufacture the yield signs and the signs you see on the traffic lights, and the Summerwood signs, and it's sure it's practical, but the different colors that they use, the stop sign, it's just it's an octagon, and it's just stop, right? That's just to conveying an emotion, a way to just tell you something. And that's with art too. It's just, you look at that and you're trying to tell people something, whether it's to appreciate their own life, and whether it's just to your art is very simple, and
nothing crazy.
The bunnies and the oranges, and where do you see kind of the trajectory you're taking the art? Are you just going to keep it simple the whole time, or are you just going to
I don't know. Like,
Mhm.
honestly, I find like beauty in simplicity.
Mhm.
And like, even myself, like, I find that like, even the clothes I wear, the jewelry I wear, it's very like not outgoing. Like, again, I'm not like a center of attention person. So I think I kind of convey that into my art where it's like, I like to see the simple things in life, like a sunset, like the ocean, just like with the waves, or like driving down the road and you see like it's just like little things that you don't actually notice that you should just take a step back and look at. And so I think with my art, it's like mostly portraits. I do enjoy doing the portraits. So when I look for inspiration and I look at, it's mostly women that I paint. I've done like a couple men, but that's not my strong suit really.
What's wrong with
But
men?
well, I did one, but I'm like, I
It
don't
just like
know.
didn't turn
It's
out
like
the
the
way you wanted.
simplicity
Yeah.
of like how different like women can look. And I know men can look different as well. I just haven't really ventured there, but I would like to. But I think it's just, and that's why I do them in black and white. It's just looking simply at them, their features, what they look like, but you shouldn't really need anything else. And then that's why I do like the fun backgrounds, because why not? You got a little bit of simplicity and then a little bit of like an oomph, like something else, right?
Well, it's different. So you had mentioned that you do primarily women, like the bone structure and just
Yeah.
like the figure, like the hair. It's
And
different.
I don't know if it's because I'm
Mhm.
a girl and I just notice those things because like I have them. I don't know if maybe that's it.
You're just more understanding of
Yeah.
like how the female beauty goes about.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
making it in a way where other women can understand just the different beauties. Because you had, even when this artwork, she looks a bit like African, say?
No, she's Asian.
Yeah, Asian?
Yeah.
Oh, she's, I guess my maid, I had mentioned that. So, I mean, yeah, my maid was like pretty Asian, so I don't know why I said African.
See, but then that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't even need to.
But she does look beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, does look. I don't think I'm gonna show it for the intro. But this is
Alrighty.
amazing. This is nice. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if did I say it looked like my maid before?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, but her name was Yaya Tanet.
Yeah.
She took care of me, and
Yeah.
great girl.
Great girl. Great gal.
So expressing your creativity,
Mhm.
how do you find inspiration for your creative writing projects?
Well, it's kind of just a go with the flow thing. There's not really like a how to on it. It's just I look at something, I get an idea, I write out like some characters, some like a meaning. We talked about meanings before. And I think that's the most important thing when you're doing something creative. It's like you have to find your own meaning for it so that people can find a meaning afterwards. Not everything needs to have a meaning, but I think with writing, there's a point that you want to get across. So write it all out, do a little storyboard, have some sketches, some like pages, I guess, and then that's kind of it. I haven't really done the whole actually starting it part. I have all the ideas. It's just actually moving forward with it that I need to push myself a little bit more.
Do you journal
Yeah, I do.
every day?
Not every day. It's one of those things where it's like I pick it up when I feel like I really need to, when I need to like exert some form of like frustration, or if I'm sad, or it's more when I'm not feeling great that I do it.
Have you read Anne Frank?
Yes.
I've
I haven't
read Anne
finished
Frank.
it. Actually, my sister's going to laugh at me on this because they make fun of me, my whole family. I have started it probably 3 times and I always get to like a certain point and then I stop and I don't even know why. It's like I forget about it.
Because it gets too dramatic. I mean, Anne Frank is a bit of a drama
it's
queen.
some hardcore stuff. Like
it is very hardcore. It's heavy.
It is heavy, but I know the base of the story. Like I just haven't totally finished the book yet, but maybe this year. Maybe this year.
She mentioned that paper is patient. And just, you mentioned that when you feel frustrated, when you feel heavy and maybe sad, you get the paper, the journal, whatever, and you put in your thoughts and feelings, and it's just so freeing.
Yeah.
Because when you tell other people, it's like they they'll have their own input, their own biases, and they'll try to help you. And maybe that like people don't just listen, but paper does.
Yeah.
Right? And it's so freeing. It's cathartic. And
it's like you don't need to talk to anybody. You're just talking to the paper. You're getting it out for yourself just to get it out so that you have some time to reflect. You have a moment to go back and be like, okay, wow, I'm being a little bit ridiculous, or okay, these feelings were valid. Like it's just some time to just get it out.
Have you ever read back into one of your journal entries?
Yeah. Which actually I've heard you're not supposed to do.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. They say that it's like you shouldn't go back into the past. But I totally have done it.
I go back and I go, why did I worry about that?
Yeah.
I didn't.
And
that's not a problem. I think
like,
it's helped me.
Yeah. It's like a form of like evolution, if you will, like for yourself. Like you go back and you're like, wow, why was this something that consumed my whole life? Or why do I feel like this? Or you go back and you're like, oh my God, I still feel like this. Why do I still feel like this? It's just, I think you should go back and read them. I do. I don't really listen.
I do all the time. Like I religiously for like a year straight, I've kind of ever since the podcast and just like I've taken up so many activities or projects.
Yeah.
I've just been not as conscientious about getting the daily journal done. So it's just turned into weekly now. But for a year, I just journaled every day, every single day, a page, like 10, 15 minutes, just sit down. And when I look back at them, I'm just like, why did I care so much about that one thing? And there's this thing that a philosopher I've read, forget what it went, but kind of the premise of it was the worst problem that you have is the worst problem. Right. And that's not to say that, oh, there are other things going on in life and there's bombings there and then there's like war and there's famine. But to you personally, that's the worst thing. And then to add on to that, this guy named Sam Harris says, if you think this is the worst thing that could happen to you, this is a mistake of your imagination. It's not the worst thing that could happen to you.
Yeah.
And these things that we put into our thoughts that's so heavy to us, they're actually like, there's a solution to them. And when you think about it, when you like just mix it around in your head and find for different solutions, like different angles, you find a conclusion.
Yeah, for sure. No, everyone makes fun of me because I'm always like, it's a mindset. Everything is a mindset and everything can be controlled to a point. Like you are responsible for your own happiness. You can either move forward and work on what you think is wrong, or you can dwell on it and be negative about it and not fix it. And like through the 2 years of like improving myself and changing as a person, I have like stuck by that because I truly just believe that it is a mindset. If you go in and you're having the worst day of your life, it's still obviously hard, but you can choose to be like, okay, today's a bad day, but it's nice outside, so I'm going to try to enjoy it instead of being, oh my God, today's the worst day. I'm going to make everybody else feel miserable. There is parts of yourself that you can change, and like you just have to look at life and look at what is good. Because if you constantly focus on what's bad, you're never going to improve.
How did you realize this?
Honestly, when I just started hanging out with Jordan and the guys, my grandpa passed away and it was really hard for me. And me and my ex of 5 years broke up.
Oh.
So it was a long time coming, and it just, everything happened at once and it was like rock bottom for me. And I was in such a rut. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was sad all the time. And I was just looking at everything that was happening in my life. And I was like, why is this happening? What is going on? And then I started hanging out with Jordan and I started hanging out with the guys. And it was just, I was like, hey, I can come back from this. I can change my mindset. I can work on it. And the thing is that with how sad I was, I just picked myself up and I changed the way I looked at things. And I was just focusing on what was the best and what I could keep making good. And then it was like things just fell into place. It was like I've made these amazing friends. And then I met Caden, that's my boyfriend now. And I wasn't looking, like we kind of just met and it was just everything was right. Like the timing all just lined up. And I think I look back now and I'm like, there's no way that that's not something like in the universe or whatever it is. Like you're putting it out there, so it's coming to you. So now I just say it all the time. And like Jordan makes fun of me. She's like, oh my God, shut up. Like it's not just a mindset, but I think that it is. So that's probably how I came to.
That's amazing. You had this 5-year relationship, and that's just, I can't even, I mean, the longest I've been in was like 3, you know, was on and off, and just, and then your grandpa, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Just all these emotions just like coming down on you, just like the hopelessness. And then you have the journaling to help you with that, right?
Yeah.
And you get back up and you try again and you fall back down. And then every day you just keep on going, and then you keep on going with the artwork. And then you find Jordan, and then you find your boyfriend Caden, and you weren't even looking for it. And then you find all these meanings, and it feels right to you. And it's just, everything happens for a reason. And just, you didn't realize that because of the good that happened.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that because of that, the pain and suffering that you went through. And I listened to this guy, he interviews, his name's Chris Williamson, and he interviews a lot of the like very successful people. And he often asks, if you were to take away that trauma, that big rock bottom, just feeling hopelessness, just feeling like despair and like nothing is going to ever turn out right, would you go back in the past and change it?
No.
It's like, no, I would not change moments of that. Just for me, like crying in bed, just the doubt, the shame, just like looking in the mirror and going, am I good enough? Am I attractive for that person? Am I just smart enough? Am I capable? Am I a good human being? I've made mistakes and I've done all this stuff. And just like journaling about that and just putting all my creative processes, and just then you look back and you go, wow, I would not change a single day. Is that kind of how you?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like as much as it was horrible, like it was not good in any way, I still look at it now and I'm like, there's no way that I would be how I am today if that didn't happen. Because I feel like you need to go, and there's going to be plenty more. I'm very aware of that. But like struggles in your life that you have to go through to become who you are, to see, okay, it could be worse, or you can make it better.
And that's with all endeavors.
Yeah,
okay?
Everything.
Whether it be the creative process, whether it be about art, relationships, just hell, it could be about video games, right? And
anything that you find is important to you, you can make see the difference. You can see the struggle. You can see
that's awesome.
Where you can go from there.
Social connection.
We trailed off there. We were really like getting deep.
Yeah, and I kind of want to relate it to that, and that kind of ties to that, and like for us to realize the best version of ourselves, we need to go off a little bit in our own journey and pick up these little lessons and pieces that we could then bring back to the people that we love and learn and share. And like, just, there's so much freedom to that. And then there's so much value in the rock bottom moments. How do you build and maintain connections with people
in life?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like connections with people are so important. And I think that you need to it's so rare to find people that are kind of like on the same wavelength as you, as are intertwined with values and inspirations and passions, that when you find those people, you need to keep them. And I think it's just effort at its finest. Like you have to be able to put in the work, make sure that you're checking in, but also it should be okay to venture off and they can do what they need to do and you can do what you need to do. Cause like you said, it's like people have kids, they get married, they want to travel, life gets so busy that if you are okay to spend some like months, years, whatever it is, away from people that are important to you and they come back, that's how you know it's like a real friendship or a real relationship or whatever it is. And I think that's what's most important is that you guys are on the same page and you're checking in and it's all just overall, you want everybody to be happy for one another.
Yeah. You want them to succeed. Their success is your success. And when they're happy, you're happy. And sure, competition is a really big thing. And we constantly compare ourselves to, okay, my friend got this new car. Oh, my friend got this better job and just more prestige, more popularity than me. And for a great majority of people, and I find myself guilty of this, I find that it takes away from me sometimes. And to be able to go against that and go, no, I'm happy for her, for him, my friend. They're doing well.
Yeah.
And that's their success is my success. And their problems are my problems. And I care about them. And if I don't see them for 5-10 years, I'm still going to be rooting for them. I'm still going to be wanting them to do well. And that is so tough to ingrain in our system.
It really is. And it's hard, like, as like an artist for me, like I see Jordan doing her hair or Gina, my cousin, she does photography. And it's like, I look at how well they're doing and it's like, wow, like you are doing so good. I'm so pumped for you. And then it's like, I go back to mine. I'm like, ooh, am I not doing as good? But you can't do that because you're never going to be the same. It's all like three totally completely different industries that you can't compare, because if you start doing that, then it's a competition and then it's just, you're tearing yourself down, you're tearing them down, and it's overall just not a good environment. And you just have to support and they're going to do it back to you. So people just have to remember that, like, you give what you get, right?
Yeah.
So
what you put in the world, whether it be about friendships, whether it be about art, the intentions, every single action that you take has a consequence. And when you gain off of other people's downfalls, you're not going to have lasting relationships that are cultivated of love, compassion, and trust, and authenticity, and loyalty, and vulnerability, because that's just how way you've designed your life. And going back to mindset, that's just an awful way, just such a bad, flawed way to treat other people. And that's how they're going to treat you.
Exactly. You give what you get. Like,
yeah, you constantly need to put in that effort to the work that you do. And sure, you get better, but the intentions need to be there. And who are you doing it for? Like, ask yourself, like, why are you doing this for? Why do you choose to suffer? Why do you choose this route? Okay, and it could be, okay, maybe it's for me, but okay, if it's for you, okay, like, are you, like, at the end of the day, like, it's just going to be you the entire time? Like, no, there's all these social connections that we have, and they need to be accounted for when it comes to these endeavors that we partake in.
Yeah, for sure.
And you travel quite a lot, hey?
I have this last little bit, like the last year I was traveling a lot, and it just kind of, again, all fell into place. Like, traveling is what I wanted to do for the longest time. I want to go everywhere, all around the world. And like, when I graduated, I was going to go on these trips. Like, I was supposed to go to Italy with my mom. My dad wanted to take me to Japan. Like, it was going to be like these big things that I've just been planning and talking about for so long. It obviously, I couldn't because of COVID. So then when the opportunities came, I just kind of took them. Like, I think I went on like 5 trips last year. I know.
Which places?
I went to Mexico. I went to Halifax with my dad. I went to Italy, and I went to the Bahamas. And I think we went on like a BC trip, but I'm still going to count that because I know that people
anything out of Sherwood Park.
Yeah, anything
Edmonton,
is like going anywhere.
Like Calgary is a big trip. Like actually going there, it's not your everyday.
No.
Right? It's a
and
traveling.
Everything is so expensive that it's like I'll count it.
You have to actually enjoy the activity and just immerse yourself in it, or you're gonna just waste your money.
Exactly. So I went on a few trips for sure, but like that is what I wanted to do. And people are like, oh my God, like you're going on another trip. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's just how it lined up. And it's like, I paid for myself. I wasn't mooching off anything. Like I did pay for everything. And it's like an experience. I want to do that. So I'm going to do it.
How do you cultivate relationships while traveling and also maintain the relationships that you do have in your hometown?
I think that relationships while traveling, like when you're going to the different countries, I want to meet people. Like I want to experience the culture, experience their livelihood, because they live so differently than how I do. It's like anywhere you go, everyone's different. And I just want to experience the full experience. I want to experience everything. I want to try the food. I want to try the different things that they do. I want to just have an adventure. I want to enjoy every single aspect of life. And I think it was you, because you just went to Thailand recently, didn't you?
I went to the Philippines.
The Philippines, sorry. Yes. And I saw that post you made about how you were interacting with all the people. And you had like a thing like this long on Instagram.
I put essays on my Instagram. Wow.
And I read that and I was like, that is what I want to do. Like that is the kind of experience I want to have. Like I want to not stay on a resort. Don't get me wrong. Staying on a resort is lovely, but
it's great. But the one time, then it's just all the same.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would like to go to the country and actually explore the country and experience the country.
You should go to the Philippines.
I do want to. I have like, again, everywhere, but I think me and my boyfriend are planning on possibly going to Thailand.
You guys
sometime.
Should. And like not in the resort, like go
I know. I want to go in. Like I want to go just experience everything. And it is scary. Like you don't really know where you're going, what's happening. Like there is dangerous places.
Guides. Yeah.
Like But I don't know. I want to do it. I'm just
the thing that comes to mind when I was in the Philippines are the people seem happier, even despite having a lower quality of life. And when I talk to some people here, they're less happy despite having more things.
For sure.
Now I see this dichotomy, right? Because you'd expect more people, more wealth, more opportunity, happier.
Yeah.
Less wealth, less opportunity, less happier.
Yeah.
But I find that the community, the connectedness, just like how people are so much kinder to each other there, that's kind of what I've been trying to implement in even this podcast and how I live my life. And I can complain about like how, maybe Canadians, they're not as connected as the Filipinos, or I can create a life that is worth living, that is of connection and love. And that's kind of like how we go about things. And to truly be happy, we have to design each chapter of our lives. And life is finite, and we need to be able to travel and connect to people. And you don't struggle with maintaining, despite being so busy with traveling and doing all your pieces, you don't struggle with maintaining relationships?
Not really.
Friendships? No?
I don't think so. Like, I think that everyone I've surrounded myself with is genuinely happy that I'm doing the things that I want to do. Like, obviously it sucks when you miss out and you're like seeing all the people that you miss everybody that you're not with. But at the end of the day, it's like, they're happy for me and I appreciate that. That's all I've ever wanted, really. So you check in, you send pictures, you do what you got to do. But genuinely, I have all my relationships still that I had when I was going on my trip. So yeah.
It's just, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Like,
look what I did today.
Look at this. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah. They always ask when I get back though. Like, we went to some Christmas party after I came back from the Bahamas and like Logan, I think you know Logan.
Lambert?
Yeah. yeah, he's like, oh my gosh, show me all your pictures. Like, what did you do? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's nice to.
Yeah. I love that friend group. They're always just so.
They're a good
They're
group.
hype, but at the same time, like you guys go out a lot, but it's not like you guys are just in that scene. Like, sure,
No.
you're in that scene, but you're also like very honest, very personable, vulnerable, and like every single person I've talked to in that group, Jordan, you, is Kriska in that group?
First guy, yeah.
Logan, Dylan, like it's just so connected. I
Yeah.
feel, and Dylan has this thing that I've actually extracted from him, and I don't think he made it. It's just the way he says things, and I always wondered why he's so likable. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and then I started thinking about it, and based on our interactions, and we've seen each other at parties, and we've talked here and there about deep stuff, about funny stuff, but one thing he always says to me is, "I appreciate you." He doesn't say it. He doesn't say I appreciate like the action itself, but me.
Yeah.
Dylan appreciates me. And I'm not homo or anything, but like I just love Dylan. you
Yeah.
know? And I even said that in the
You
first one.
appreciate
So it's
him.
just
Like,
yeah, I appreciate you, Dylan. So
he
if you're
appreciates
watching.
you, Dylan.
You too, Jordan, Logan, Kriska.
And the whole rest of the
whole
friend group.
They're great. And every time I see them, they're just beautiful people.
Yeah,
And you guys
they're
have-
really like, I feel really lucky to have been able to meet them and actually be in the group. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so
well,
lucky.
I didn't miss anyone out. Like,
I think maybe Graham and Tony and
Graham,
Sisson
yeah.
and Mauricio. There's so
Mauricio.
many now. It's like
Graham?
Yeah.
Graham and Jacob?
Tony.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Tony.
Oh, right.
Tony.
Oh, I love
He's
he's
gonna be
hype.
so mad about that.
Tony, I love you, man. Like I wasn't the nicest to Tony. Like I was like roasting Tony back in high
That's
school, but
okay.
like Tony, I appreciate you, and you're a great guy, and he's funny. He's the
Yeah.
funniest guy. He's kind of like that comedic relief,
Oh yeah.
where it's just
He's-
like
he's
he'll
got a
say
mouth on him.
he's honest, but sometimes he's too honest, and it's just
Oh my
that's
God, and
Tony.
Jaden. I forgot Jaden.
Jaden. Oh right, Jaden. Right. Okay.
And I
Yeah.
think that's it.
That's it.
I think that's
Okay.
everybody.
Cool. I don't want to miss anyone.
Yeah, I
'Cause
know.
Like,
Now
I
I'm
named up
like,
all
now I'm
these
on the
names,
hook.
and like
Like, they're
they'll
gonna
be
be-
listening. Or like, oh, Avin, what the? But yeah, no, good group of guys, good group of people, and that's just I hope to see you guys connected. And I actually asked Tony if he wants to come on because I really want to talk to him. But
Tony, you should
Yeah.
come on. You should.
He really should.
But yeah.
And actually, kid, the second round is much better. I'd say.
I
Wouldn't
feel
you say?
like it's really
Yeah.
just like an actual
Yeah.
conversation. Maybe
Yeah.
we're not talking so much about like the art stuff, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Who
no.
cares?
But I think your art will. I think we covered the social connection part
Mm-hmm.
and the so food. How does that play into? Yeah,
Food is just,
Mhm.
I am also super passionate about it. It's just been a part of my life since I was born, really. Like my grandpa, who he passed away, he was a chef, and like my dad loves to cook, and it's just kind of something that we have done together that that's what we talk about most. Like we just talk about food, and we're going to go try this new place, and we're going to go do this. And it's something that I can do for people that makes them feel good. Like again, I make nachos for the guys when they're drunk and they're like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever had in my life. And I'm like, hey, perfect. Or even like cooking for Caden. I just love to do it. I love to make people feel good, and just everyone likes to eat, right? So if you make something good, might as well.
There seems to be a pattern in the endeavors that you take interest in, and it's like creating this thing, like gathering all the paint and the brush, and just like taking time to actually create this thing and presenting it to people, and then having them revel in like your experience and the way you like had this vision, and then presenting it to them, whether it be about painting, drawing, and like the tattoos, and then food, and then even while traveling, like you send pictures to your friends, and you want to be able to extend that you care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's just, were you always like that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, I think maybe not as much now, but there's
Mhm.
definitely like the things that, like the food, like I take pictures of
Mhm.
all my food. I've always done that. Like I'm such the nerd. I'm
What about
like, do
McDonald's? Like,
maybe not McDonald's. Like only
No?
like the nicely plated things. Like
Yeah.
at a restaurant, and you're like, don't eat anything, do not touch anything, don't anything. Like I'm like this over, and you look at my Instagram, I have like a full little highlight for just food.
Just food.
How embarrassing, but I just love it. I
That's
can't
great.
even.
You can't shit on people who are passionate about one thing and just do it over and over. And that's something that you're going to be doing for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's just, that's usually when I do a certain activity and I find passion on something, like this is something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Right. And it's just like, there's going to be those days where it's just like, oh, maybe I don't like food as much, but it's always there. It's always like
Yeah.
something that you want to others to share in your enjoyment and like the beauty that you see in it. Like just the way the nachos cheese melts
Yeah.
and just it goes into this cost me $50, guys. I'm like,
Right?
just I need to take a picture of this
Yeah.
to just like the beauty of it. I
Mhm.
mean, who like someone designed this for
Yeah.
me, or I designed this.
Yeah. Just the simplicity.
Mhm. Can you describe a relationship that has significantly influenced your life, and how has it shaped who you are today?
Well, like I said, tough question. There's so many people in my life, and now everyone's gonna watch this and be like, "You didn't say me." But
You can name them all.
I'll try. This is the last little bit of this podcast. No, but like my mom and my dad, definitely like props to them. They've done a really good job, well, I think anyway. Like, but they've definitely shaped who I am today.
Mhm.
My brother and my sister, like they're
Mhm.
super huge part of my life. My friends, Kaden, like Gina, my cousin, she's been my ride or die. She's probably shaped who I am like quite a bit. I've spent like a lot of my childhood with her, and then like now it's one of those things where we're family, but we've like chosen to be friends. And she's just definitely been there for me through everything. Like she's just always been there. I love you too, Jordan, but she like, but honestly, like all my friends too, like they just, I don't really know if there's one specific relationship that can take credit for all of this.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Yep.
You know, we keep choosing to add to the tide and to where we rise up together, because I'm sure they say the same about you, and you know that.
I hope
Right?
so.
Maybe like there's some issues here and there, problems. They're always going to be there for you.
Yeah.
And that's just, you cultivated that, right? It's mindset.
It's a mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. So are there any future projects that you're working on when it comes to your creative side, art and
I mean,
writing?
I have so many, Advin. Like
Okay.
I've got so many on the go that I actually just need to like fully pursue. Like the books, like I really want to do those. Like I do have so many like storyboarded out, written up, that I just need to actually like move forward with it. Like doing not the fun stuff, like finding a publisher, finding all that stuff. And like painting wise, I have so many ideas. I'm working on so many things, and I just have like so many ideas that I just need to pursue. And same with the tattoos. Like my mom said it to me the other day. She's like, I know you just need that push. Like I'm going to need to like hound you to do it, because I can keep practicing. But again, I'm my own worst critic, and I just need to realize that I'm never going to get it done if I don't actually do it. So I'll let you know. There's so many things on the go, but I feel like after this, I kind of have to do something.
You have to.
I have to.
You mentioned the children's book with the boys and Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's coming out, guys, and
Yeah.
we're gonna be taking over.
They're going to be talking about it a lot because it's about them. So, you know.
Awesome. No, I'd certainly let me know, and I'm sure I'll hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I follow those guys on Instagram. I'm friends with all of them. I see them here and there.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you
Of course.
so much.
Thank you for having me.
Coming on the long-term podcast, round 2.
Round
and
2.
Like, I could see like
long-term podcast.
Wow, that was 2 hours. I'm so sorry for like just putting you through another round, but thank you. I actually,
it was
you
good.
were just like less nervous.
I know,
the
it was
second
like
one at
a real
all.
like
It just like you just flowed. I was nervous. I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to be the confident one,
right? No, my introduction on this one was a little bit rough, but it's fine. Whatever.
It's fine.
Just get past that part.
Yeah, but no, I think you're gonna go far in life.
Thank you.
And
Same to you.
Thank
Really.
you. We rise together, and
Yeah.
this won't be the last episode. And just,
Well,
you know,
That's awesome.
if you find someone that is a good conversation starter, or like just a person that you have a good conversation with, they could just sit right there. Because honestly, that's the way I've designed who the next guest is. It's just, who do my guests talk to?
Yeah, exactly.
Just invite them on and give me a recommendation. And does your boyfriend want to come on? You know,
I don't know if he'd want to.
No.
Maybe Gina. Gina might.
Yeah, get Gina on.
Yeah.
You know, I want to get Jordan in again.
Yeah.
But yeah, any last words to those people that want to enhance their creative side? And
just do it. You just gotta go for it. I'm not a professional. I'm still doing it. But if you feel like you got something, you probably do. So just go for it and try. That's all you can do.
But yeah.
Yes. Round 2, baby.
2.
All done.
And as always, to those listening, watching, there is a place for you in this chaotic world. Never lose hope, keep faith, and keep it long term. Peace.